Hey everyone, this is Zach speaking to you today. Because we are coming up to the end of December, I'm going to be looking at films that are coming out in January. So this is January 2020. Now, I am from the UK, so all these release dates are going to be for the UK, so it might differ slightly depending on where you are in the world. The release dates might be slightly different. So anyway, let's get to it. So the first film that I'm going to look at is called Jojo Rabbit. It's due for release in the UK on the 1st of January 2020. Now, I know this film has been released in the US several months ago, and I think in New Zealand as well, roughly about the same time as it was released in the US. So I think they got it in October. So we are quite behind at the minute. If you've not seen this film, advertised or anything like that, it's about a young boy called Jojo who is part of the Hitler Youth Army, and he's from a good German family, and within the Hitler Youth, obviously he's being told a lot about the Jewish people and how they should be killed and stuff like that. They can't be trusted, so he really wants to be part of the Jewish community. So I think he wants to be Hitler's bodyguard when he grows older, and we'll come on to Hitler now. So Jojo's got an imaginary friend, and that imaginary friend is none other than Adolf Hitler. This is a comedy film as well, so it's quite a daring move to involve Hitler within a comedy setting, but that's what they've gone for. So basically Jojo finds out that his mother's hiding a Jewish girl in the attic. So I think the film's about him trying to figure out whether he should do what he's been told within the Hitler Youth, in terms of like killing Jewish people, even though he knows that that's probably not right, or whether he should continue to harbour the girl alongside his mother. So yeah, I think that's what kind of the film's about. Obviously, I won't know till I go watching it, but from what I've read and what I've seen, that's roughly what the film's about. Okay, next up we've got 1917, which is a World War I drama, so what you could call it, action film, and it's been released on the 10th of January 2020. And the idea of the film is it follows two British soldiers, and they've been tasked with delivering a message that warns of an ambush, and it could potentially save the lives of 1,600 men if they manage to send the message in the required time. Also, I think one of the guys that's been told to take this message is his brother is one of the ones that could potentially be saved by it, so it adds a little bit more to it as well, like a bit of a family thing. I remember seeing the trailer to this probably three months ago now, and it looks amazing. This is one of the films that I'm really looking forward to this year, so only a couple of weeks left to go, so I really can't wait for this one. And looking at it from the reviews that I've seen, it's going to be a good one. So yeah, keep your eyes out for this one, guys. Definitely worth a watch. Next sees the return of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence to the big screen together, and it's the third Bad Boys film, Bad Boys for Life. That's to be released on the 17th of January 2020. Will Smith's character Mike Lowry I think he's heading up like a Young Guns group of younger cops, and Marcus Burnett is a police inspector, and they're not working together initially, but they both have to like reunite and start working together when like a mob boss makes like an effort to try and like kill Mike Lowry, which is Will Smith's character. The reason this particular mob boss is after them both is because I think they killed his brother several years ago, so this is like a retaliation from him to try and get revenge. Next, we've got a film called Bombshell, and it's based on a true story, and it's about the sexual harassment allegations made against the Fox anchor Roger Ailes, and that's been released on the 17th of January 2020. So the film follows his sexual advances towards 3 different anchor women that are at Fox News as well as himself. So one of them is played by Charlize Theron. We've got Nicole Kidman, and Margot Robbie plays a new what would you call him, like a new newsreader that's just come on. So he's obviously trying to say that he can get her up the ladder quicker if she does certain things that he requests. In real life, I think it was something like 23 victims that had brought forward sexual harassment allegations towards him, and it's quite recent really, because he was fired from it in 2016. So he was fired from his job as a result of it in 2016. So it's only, it's not even 4 years ago yet. So it is still quite new. Now the next one is another one that I've been looking forward to, because the story that it's based on, I heard about this story probably only 3 or 4 years ago, and it proper intrigued me. The film's called The Lighthouse, and it's been released on the 31st of January. Now, for people that don't know anything about it's based on a true story. So for people that don't know about the true story of The Lighthouse, it's a bit weird and a bit strange. Now, I don't know how true the film is going to be to the original true story, so I'll explain the mystery slightly, but I'll be quite brief. So it happened in December 1900, and the 2 lighthouse keepers at the Flannan Isle Lighthouse, which is it's in the Outer Hebrides, just off mainland Scotland, they just suddenly disappeared. Now, the actual discovery was on the 26th of December, when a couple of people went into the lighthouse, discovered there was no one there. But initially, 2 weeks previous, I think it was on the 15th of December, someone had been sailing past the lighthouse in poor weather conditions, and he noticed that the light wasn't on. So I think, although it was discovered on the 26th of December, it's pretty clear that something probably happened a couple of weeks previous to that. Again, I don't want to say too much, so I'll just finish briefly explaining what the guys had found when they got in. So the oil lamps had been cleaned and ready to be refilled. The beds were unmade. The gates were locked, and from the evidence they found, they had a feeling that one of the lighthouse keepers went out on their own, which, wouldn't have. Well, they shouldn't have done it because of the poor weather conditions. So it's all a bit strange on, the why they disappeared, and the under the certain circumstances that they did disappear. So like I said, I don't know a massive amount about it myself, but that's just a quick brief explanation on it. I probably have missed off a load of information, but I don't know what the film's going to show. So on the other hand, I don't want to give too much away, because I don't want to ruin the film for anyone. And finally, the last film that I'm going to look at is called The Gentleman, and it's due for release on the 1st of January 2020. And it's a Guy Ritchie film. It's got a pretty decent cast, to be fair. It's got Matthew McConaughey's in it, Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy and Green Street, Jeremy Strong, Colin Farrell, Hugh Grant, Eddie Marsan. So it's got a pretty good cast. The story follows Mickey Pearson, who's played by Matthew McConaughey, and has got a large drug empire within London. He's looking to sell his business, cash out on it, and other people are trying to cash in on it and get it off him. So it looks at how the other people, like the other gangsters, I suppose you could call them other gangsters, although they are gentlemen, but it's just trying to show how they try and get it off him, and what tactics they use and stuff like that. So they're trying to get the money for themselves, kind of thing.